Hello and bienvenidos to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. Now let's get started with our first question. How can I get rid of I don't feel like it me? How can I get rid of I don't feel like it me? So I have been having some serious issues with I don't feel like it me. And I'm not sure if we've talked about this in great detail before, but I feel like there are a lot of me's in my head. I think of an airplane with like 120 seats. And there's all these different me's that want to do different things. And they are literally fighting and clawing to get to the flight deck to fly the plane in my mind. Like that is how my mind is. There's the I don't feel like it me. There's the relaxation me. There's literally 120. I really feel like I have that many me's up there trying to make decisions for me. And lately, this I don't feel like it me is really causing me some serious issues. Most recently in my workouts, I have never canceled a personal training session. I have noticed though that there have been some times where I really, really don't feel like it. And if you've been listening to this podcast for the entire year, not every episode, but just, you've heard me gripe about weightlifting before. Usually I can kind of find, the way. I can reframe. I can, say what I need to say to get myself to just do it. But for some reason, I don't feel like it me is really strong. Like she is really being mean. And it's been really, really challenging. So I had to bring this question to the podcast because obviously, if you have not explored all the me's that control your life, now is, there's no better time than now. But it really does help or can help to understand the different feelings that arise, the different and what I call the different me's. And a lot of times what will happen is the you that says yes to something is not the same you that shows up to do that thing. And sometimes it can be just challenging because you want to be able to do the things that you've been committed to do and that you really value doing. But it also can bring you a little bit of comfort to know that you're not the only one struggling with this, right? And it is completely normal to have these different sides of you. And really what I hope you understand when listening to this particular episode is the goal is to understand. The goal is not to judge. So if you are, at a point in your life or you're seeing a certain area where you just don't feel like it, and it's really something that is important. I think that's a really big piece of it. Strength training and weightlifting is one of my antidotes to self-doubt. So it is not an option to not lift weights. That is not, no, that's not acceptable. But it is an option for me to get curious about why this feeling is showing up. So I really challenge you to explore this in whatever way works best for you. And if you have this, I don't feel like it me showing up in your life when you're doing something particular, really think about where that's coming from. As I was exploring this question for myself, one of the things that came through was not how can I get rid of her, but how can I almost put her on a vacation, right? Because that feeling of not feeling like it has a purpose, just like all the other feelings that we experience. So the question for me, the next question that I explored was, why don't I feel like it? Like, do I need to take a break? Is there something that I'm missing? But really to explore why this was coming up for me was very, very helpful as I was, exploring these questions for myself. So As always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you are listening to my words. And if this episode was helpful for you, please share it. We are here on this planet to help each other. So if this was helpful for you, please share it. And until next time, take care.